part of my job with people, especially private clients, is to get them to see that what they're doing is funny enough to laugh at. You know, I usually start my teaching seminars off by asking people, is there somebody in here that thinks about the same bad memory over and over and over again? And, if you worry about a problem for 30 minutes a day, you've wasted 150 plus hours. And that means 10 years, it's 1,500 hours. And 40 years, it's 6,000 hours. And when I ask people, to look, I say, so you're planning? And they go, well, I'm not planning it. It just happens. And I go, no, that you told me this is your plan, that you can count on doing this in the future. You have to participate in it, otherwise it doesn't happen. And, if you don't make the pictures and say the things to yourself and make the feelings, then you get back this enormous gift of time. And when you laugh at a mistake, it saves you enormous amounts of time. If, I went in and did a sales training once, and the guy had 2 furniture stores, one on either side of the road. And you couldn't get off the exit unless you went miles down. So he built another one on the other side of the road. And oddly enough, the new store was selling 40% more stuff than the store on this side, with the same number of people, the exact same stuff, same floor plan, everything is identical. And he hired me and he goes, well, he said, what's the difference between them? And I said, the people that were at the first store have been there longer, so they're more stuck in the way they're doing things. The new people don't know what they're doing, so they're trying to find out. And I went into the old store and I asked the sales force, I said, when somebody comes in the door, I said, which people can't you sell something to? And one guy said, well, he said, a lot of people come in with somebody that knows more about it, that's, older or, has bought a lot of furniture and they haven't. And that person's going to talk them out of whatever you say. And I said, so when you see somebody come in with somebody who's going to help them buy something, you think I'm not going to sell a couch. And I'm thinking, I got 2 people to sell couches to. And as soon as you change your belief, you start looking for, all I got to do is convince the expert and the other guy comes automatically. If I can sell a couch to the guy that's the expert, so all I got to figure out is how he knows when he wants to buy something. And I'm not even subtle about it. I sat in the furniture store. I walked up to people when they walked the front door and I said, let me ask you a question. How do you know when you're going to buy something? Watch where their eyes moved and they'd go, well, when it looks just right. So I know exactly where to put my brochure. And, if you pay attention to human beings, they'll tell you exactly what you need to know. And, if you take your problems too seriously, and most of the time I start exaggerating what they're doing. When I run sales training programs, I usually run them at the worst of times. During, the late 70s, there was the oil embargo and they couldn't sell really expensive cars. And I went in and sold Mercedes, which probably got the lowest mileage of any car at the time. And I went in, there were 4 salesmen just sitting there looking depressed. And I took the most expensive car and left, came back an hour later with 4 people and had the salesman, I said, this guy wants a red one. This guy wants a blue one. This guy wants a silver one. You guys fill out the paperwork and I'll split the commission with you. One guy afterwards walked up to me. He goes, where did you find these people? And I went, outside. There's no one here. You go to where they are. And I thought, where would be the people? And so, of course, I thought country club. So I drove through the golf course up to the country club, walked in the door and said, who wants to be happy for the rest of your life? Nobody's going to say no to that. And brought him outside and tried to, and the guy goes, well, what about the gas mileage? And I said, number 1, this isn't going to last forever. But number 2, I can put a tank in the back with an extra 75 gallons. People say necessity is the mother of invention. And I say humorous. When people go, oh, we could never get there. The plane won't make it that far. Oh, terrible. So we'll just sit here and do nothing. that's the wrong approach. You got to go, well, that's stupid. If the tank doesn't hold enough, put another tank on. Seems obvious. But most people in their life aren't looking for what's obvious. They come in and they tell me, they go, well, I've got all these problems I've blown out of proportion. And I go, well, how big are they? And they go, what do you mean? And I go, well, they're blown out of proportion. It's a picture in your head. I said, can you see the sides of it? And some people go, no. And I go, well, put a border around it, shrink it down. Most of the things that really change people are putting things in perspective. When for a moment you step outside yourself and look at yourself and go, this is really stupid. I've been doing this for years and feeling bad. Enough is enough. And I found that happens to people naturally. It just takes too long. So I try to speed the process up. The actual quote for me is, people say you're going to look back on this and laugh. My policy is, why wait? Do it now and move on.